Hello everyone and welcome back to DJ360. I gotta be really quiet. Everybody's sleeping here at the house from Thanksgiving, but I'm super excited about these leaks here. By the way, these leaks brought to you by starcitizen Leaks Discord, link down below in the description, check them out. New orbital space stations described as perfect as a waypoint on your way down or back from the surface. Plenty of amenities for travelers while also providing a top-tier loading-unloading system for capital ships that are unable to head down to the surface. We were talking about this a long time ago. It is so nice to see these starting to be implemented. This is in the works. It's great. Capital ships not being able to land down on planets for the most part. We also talked about the Argo tugboats. If at all these capital ships were able to land on planets needing Argo tugboats, but we won't talk about that. That's kind of like theory crafting at this point. But that was really cool to hear about these orbital planetary space stations. These stations at this point are planned to be in geosynchronous orbit with the planet above major cities on the planet's surface. So for instance, the name of ArcCorp's orbital space station is Bajini Point, and it's going to go around Area 18. So it's literally going to follow the orbit of ArcCorp above Area 18. Microtech's orbital space station is named Port Tressler. That will be geosynchronous orbit above New Babbage and Hurston. No names yet, but here you can see picture here of just how amazing this is going to be looking. While you're looking down at Hurston, you're able to look to, you can actually see Lorville down there. I am very excited. Here's more pictures of rest stop interiors. These are new pictures here from starcitizen Leaks. You guys can check out all the different variants. I think they've done a wonderful job personally of really making these feel like rest stops. You know, along the way, in real life driving along, you go to different rest stops. Sometimes they have like a similar feel. In different states they have different feels, and they're kind of trying to do the same thing, mimic it. It looks like this might be alien rating on some of these. It's kind of neat that they're accommodating for that. We just had somebody in our Discord who's a linguist, speaks 7 different languages, and asked about, you know, the languages and if he thinks that's going to play a major role into the game. And I think insofar as like seeing these at rest stops, seeing these like on alien planets, it would be very cool to see this. Now, let's get to some of these 3.8 PTU patch notes that, you know, Evocati got to play for 24 hours. I really like these patch notes here. What I saw was very encouraging. I see that they're implementing server-side object container streaming, so SSOCS version 1 as announced by Chris. According to a source here, he's telling me that not everything seems to be converted. I'm not quite sure until we can kind of get in there ourselves and see what's going on. But I don't know if that's something that they're going to kind of implement in stages in different patches down the future, how exactly that's going. But that was interesting to hear. Added Microtech, of course, exterior of New Babbage, added the new rest stop variants that we're showing you here. Players now have the ability to select their initial spawn location when it is their first time logged into the game. Now, of course, this was 3.8 PTU was released to Evocati. They had like a 24-hour window to test some of these things. I haven't heard any feedback on some of these yet, but it would be nice to see people commenting in the down below that are Evocati and want to keep it on the low. You're anonymous. Go ahead and tell us what you think of that. That would be wonderful if we could have some comments there. Grim Hex Armistice has been updated to allow non-lethal melee combat. Fight Club is here. All we need is that wallet-to-wallet transaction, and we're all going to have a good time at Fight Club. What can we do right now with melee? Players can now use various kinds of melee attacks, including light attacks and heavy attacks. Attacks are directional and can be chained together for combinations. So it looks like we got combination action with light and heavies. Players can block incoming attacks, so you're able to block while facing each other. So interesting. In addition to blocking, dodging is also a defensive option, can be activated by double tapping. Players can also do takedowns if they melee from an undetected direction. It really looks like they put a lot of work into this. This is interesting. Can be initiated using middle mouse for the takedown, it says. Knife attacks. Wonderful. Players will need to use a combat knife. It says it's found at various FPS weapon shops now, and you equipped in a utility slot. When unarmed melee attacks will do non-lethal damage and takedowns are non-lethal. That means basically they will render another player unconscious for a few moments. And it says initiate knife combat stance with the 5 key and unarmed melee combat with the 0 key. So this is great here. They added a impounding function to the law system. Players who incur landing infractions that cause their ship to be forcibly despawned will now see it as impounded rather than stored. So if you're a little bit late to the game, you're not so great at landing, you're having some issues, hopefully this doesn't apply to, like, if the game starts bugging out and just does it for you, and then, that would be a bummer. But it says when they return basically it's going to show impounded for those instances at the ASOP terminals. Players can then see their infraction and either pay to have their vehicle removed from the impound or wait until the vehicle is released. Different jurisdictions have different fine amounts and impound time, so this feeds right into the law system. That probably wasn't too hard to code into the game. I like what they're trying to do here. Sounds interesting. Hopefully it just doesn't, kind of mesh with some buggy crap with landing pads that happens on occasion from patch to patch. This is cool, as I'm an industrial player. Added new mining vehicle attachments, the mining laser heads, kind of like a new concept. I didn't even realize this was in the works here. But the laser heads are the mining components that are responsible for fracturing and extraction. So these components can now be swapped and purchased with different components, offering different advantages and disadvantages when in use. This is really cool. Laser heads currently have different instability dampening resistance, modifiers and extraction rates, power transfer rates, optimal charge rates, range, power consumption, heat generation, signature size. So, I mean, they've gone through all the variables here, and I like that. I think it makes mining more unique, more specific. It makes you much more of a professional if you actually take the time to find out which. This makes mining much more interesting. In my opinion, the more complexity, the more depth to the immersion of the gameplay, especially when it comes to like industrial gameplay. I think this is great for miners. I think this is really great news for those that really like to do these types of tasks in the game. Also, added enunciator panels to some ships, new FPS weapons out, Animus missile launcher, raw, love it. Once target lock is achieved, the Animus launcher rapidly fires multiple missiles from its barrels, unleashing the kind of devastation that Apocalypse Arms is known for, is what's stated here in the patch notes. I love it. And here we have also the Bear P6 LR ballistic sniper rifle. It's described as that it makes up for its slow rate of fire with a high-powered 8mm round that's effective from long range, featuring a scope with variable zoom modes, awesome, and a barrel composed of a proprietary high-strength alloy that P6LR was designed to deliver when needed most. I am really digging the fact that they have attachments on our weapons. I've always been fascinated with this. I love that we can customize our weapons personally with different types of attachments. Kudos, good job, keep it up, awesome. So there we go. That's everything. And I hope you guys are enjoying the content here on the channel. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. My family's completely knocked out, still in their turkey coma. And as always, guys, I will see you on the next vid.
Today's video has been brought to you by the generous patrons of DG360 who make continued content possible. DG360 patrons enjoy monthly giveaways like Star Citizen packages, Steam gift cards, and any game that you want giveaways. Please consider donating $1 if in any way you enjoy DG360 content. And these difficult times where independent content creation is under attack from the FTC and left to die by YouTube, it's nice to know that I'm appreciated. Thank you.